Well, there we have it, guys. That was the first episode of Tales of the Redwhales, and this video right now is going to run alongside the series. Every time an upload for the series gets uploaded, there will be this video, which is the behind the scenes, behind the episode. And what I will be doing is talking about my thought process, what I put into the episode, the characters. I'm not going to spoil things. Obviously, it's going to be spoiler free because I don't want to spoil the series. That would be stupid. That would totally be the wrong way to do things. But I'm going to talk a little bit about how I came up with the concept of the series in today's episode. So, narrative Let's Plays have started to become quite popular on YouTube. The Grand Master of it at the moment is officially Devin. He is phenomenal when it comes to telling a story. It can be he could take a clip of an online battle and turn it into a fantastic story. He's that good at manipulating footage and turning it into something much better, and that's something that I'd love to do. And Lord Rexasaur, who is one of my friends on YouTube, who has started doing his own narrative Let's Play with the Red Emperor, which is, he's doing a phenomenal job with it. He says that it takes 10 hours to make, and I now know that is a fact, and unfortunately, but I feel like I'm so used to doing YouTube where I do a standard Let's Play where I spend 10 minutes editing and then it's uploaded. I'd rather spend 10 hours on a quality video than 10 minutes on a shitty part 86 or part 87, because I just feel like I get more out of it. And I'd rather develop my editing skills a bit more, because when it comes to doing a standard Let's Play, all I'm doing really is chopping a bit out at the start, chopping a bit out where I end the recording, and putting it into a Vegas file and rendering it. It is very limited, and I feel like the only way I'm going to improve is to broaden my horizons and try and challenge myself to do something that's much better. So the first episode went up, and you're going to be wondering, what was the concept? How did I come up with that? Well, another YouTuber I haven't mentioned yet is Hef. Hef is phenomenal when it comes to the Mount Blade warband game. I've watched his House Hef series, I've watched his Drew Deathstag series, and I've started watching his newest Clash of Kings series as well. And each one gets better and better. His kind of quality, his visual quality is phenomenal. And I wanted to do something similar. I don't want to do Crusader Kings 2 like Rex, because that's his territory, and I can't play Crusader Kings 2 that well anyway. I didn't want to do Total War like officially Devin has done, because I don't really play Total War that much anymore. I still play it, obviously. I will do videos on it, but I haven't really got the same love for Total War that I once did. Mount Blade Warband, on the other hand, though, it has the Clash of Kings mod, and a Game of Thrones is something which is really, really close to me. I have nearly all the house tops, the house t-shirts. I have the series on DVD. I have most of the games. I got the Telltale games. I haven't got Game of Thrones Genesis, but I've got the Game of Thrones RPG game. I've got the World of Ice and Fire book. I've read the books, the Song of Ice and Fire books. I'm a nerd when it comes to Game of Thrones. I absolutely adore the series. I've read many of the fan fictions and the fan theories online as well. And I thought it would be quite unique to apply some of the things that I've taken from other YouTubers like Hef, Devin, and Rexo. Got their own way of doing things, got their own style, and I thought I'd try and implement my own style onto my own series. So a few months ago, I started doing a series on Mount Blade called the Blackfire series, which I created a custom Blackfire logo for, and it was a standard Let's Play. But that got me thinking, this would be so much better if it was done in a narrative format. It would take a lot of work, but it would be so much better if I could do that. And what kind of houses haven't we really seen? Well, in the series, we haven't really seen the Greyjoys that much, even though they are a big faction in the Game of Thrones books, in the novels, and in the lore as well, and Game of Thrones history. They're a big faction, the Greyjoys. They're very important, the Iron Islands. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have a big rival to them and create a unique story around that? And that's where the whole Redwhale thing came into effect. I was looking at logos, I was thinking of something which hasn't been done, looking at existing minor houses, and not trying to be like the next Ironwoods or the next Mistwoods or the next kind of White Hills or etc., because they're all minor houses and stuff which you see throughout the lore, but create something completely original. I created the logo. I think it had to be involving with kind of the sea, with the kind of land. So I thought of Redwhale. Redwhale, that sounds like a cool thing. It sounds quite mythical, but also it does sound like something that would come from the Iron Islands. House Redwhale with House Harlow and House Greyjoy, it all mixes in quite well. It rolls off the tongue nicely, so I thought we'd go with Redwhale. I designed the logo, the banner, the light blue and the dark blue, which I thought looks quite nice together, and then the red whale across it looks quite sinister. You can just imagine someone holding that going into battle with a bit of like blood marks all over it, and having like the whole kind of armor with the red whale sigil. I thought I could actually picture it in my head, and because I could picture it in my head, I thought that would be quite a good thing to go for. So I created the banner, created the overlay, the kind of the thumbnail for the series, and I thought it looked pretty cool. I needed a story. I needed an original story. So I thought, what if we start the series off talking about the main protagonist, Robyn. We'll start off with him talking. I gave him the whole gruff, almost Batman voice just to give it. I didn't want to be using my own voice all the time, because as much as I love what other people that do their own kind of series, I wanted it to be different, and most of the other series don't really have that to the extent that I've done it. So I thought I would try that at least, see how it works in the first few episodes. I can do the voice. I'm not going to do it now, but it does hurt when I do the voice. But I can do it, and I'm going to keep going for as long as you guys want it to, and as long as I'm happy to do it. I think it gives him quite that sinister edge, that quite gruff leader. He's lost a lot. Robyn Redwhale, back in the time of Aegon the Conqueror, when he came and he took over Westeros. This is when the kind of origin starts, basically. House Redwhale were the rulers of the Iron Islands. Greyjoys weren't the rulers at this point. Historically speaking, if you look at the World of Ice and Fire, the Greyjoys weren't always in control anyway, so I thought it would tie in nicely. And they were what I've done is, the Greyjoys took over by basically slaughtering and killing all the Redwhales. So they're all dead, except for one baby, which they didn't know was alive. Basically, the baby was only a few days old. To their knowledge, there was no other son. They had murdered them all. They had dragged the sons through the streets of Redwhale. Redwhale's a fictional island, by the way. It won't appear in the game, obviously, but we'll make up a little story about that along the way. Don't you worry about that. But the two sons get dragged through Redwhale with their ropes tied around their neck. The wife gets completely raped and butchered, and then the husband, Richard Redwhale, gets killed in his sleep. He gets poisoned, and that's what happens to the family. It's basically a red wedding type of event that wipes them out, and the baby gets smuggled away. Now, I'm not going to reveal who smuggled this baby away. Bear in mind, this is an historical thing now, compared to where the series takes place. The series is like 100 years or so in the future, a few generations on. But everybody's knowledge of the Redwhales is gone, but they've kept alive. They have kept one line of the Redwhales alive, and they do still survive to this day. They've kept it hidden. They've kept the family sigil locked away. No one can see it, and they've been living off the land. They may have been living in Dawn. They may have been across the narrow sea. They may have been holed up in the north somewhere. I'm not going to reveal anything more, but they have been out of it, the Redwhales. But finally now in this series, Robyn emerges. He's had enough. Robyn's a bit of an aggressive type. You can probably tell that from the first episode. He is not happy with the current state of his family name. He feels like the Redwhale should be back on top, ruling the Iron Islands. It's his ancestral home, and he wants to take that back. Robyn does. So the story picks up, and for most people that are familiar with Mountain Blade Warband, you would be familiar with the way Mountain Blade started off. But I wanted to put my own spin on that. So it starts off with him fighting a guy at the start of the game, but I got him egging him on. Come on, fight me. You shall, and then he slaughters him, and he stands over his carcass, and he's basically there saying, that's what happens when you attack a red whale. And he's over his body, and it's like, whoa, this is the main character. You don't want to piss him off. Straight away, you're thinking that he could be this menace. You don't want to get on his bad side. And all of a sudden, you got the opposite then, which is what I was going for, because you've got this deep-voiced, serious warrior, and then you've got this, hello, kind of diplomatic merchant, basically. Now, this guy is important to the series. I won't tell you why. There are things which I did on purpose in that first episode, which you may or may not have picked up upon. But the merchant comes across. We're just going to refer to him as the merchant for now, or farmer, because merchant farmer, it's open to interpretation. But he comes across and he basically is like, "Hello, sir. Thank you so much. This guy has been attacking my farms for so long, for the last few weeks, and he's been a terrible trouble. But I'm ever so grateful. Thank you." And he's very grateful for this help that you've assisted him with. And he gives you some dragon heads, and he gives you some good advice. And that is to look to, before going to the Weeping Town, look to some of the local villages for support, because this world is a bad place, Westeros, and that's what you do. Robyn leaves. He goes to the 2 local villages. Stonebridge was the one. I think, was it Crab's End or Crabshaw? It's gone over my head now. And he recruits some hunters, and he's got a small band of about 4 or 5 men that are all hunters, and he's got himself. He's been able to afford that with the dragon heads that he's got from this merchant. Eventually, he goes into the bar. He gets a few drinks. He's thinking about his next move. And then, all of a sudden, a recognizable face walks in, and he looks at this face, and he goes, "You." Episode ends. It can't be, it's you. But who is it? Well, you'll know in episode 2, because I've started writing episode 2 already. But you're going to have to wait and see. But he's an important character. Is he good? Is he bad? Who knows? I know, but you don't. But you have to wait. I'm excited to do this. I'd like to try and get every episode where I get like a cliffhanger type of thing, and maybe make them slightly longer, maybe 10 minutes or more. It's quite difficult to do with these episodes, because they do take a hell of a long time to make. It's really rewarding when you get to the end and you look at it and you see that you've got like 9 tracks in Sony Vegas that you've used, and you've got various soundtracks and visual tracks, and you've got things fading in and out, and it just looks so good when you play it back and you look at it and you think, yep, that's good enough to go up on YouTube. And I felt like that with this first episode. Could it be improved? Probably. There's probably ways it could improve. Like I said, this is my very first time with this series. I'm hoping you guys will invest in it and enjoy it as much as I enjoy making it. Rexasaur said to me that it took him 10 hours to make his Red Emperor narrative Let's Play series for Crusader Kings 2. It takes him about 10 episodes per episode. It took me easily that amount of time, possibly longer. What I was doing with this series was, that's it, just finished rendering. Well, what it took me doing with this series was that that just totally threw me off there. I would keep it saved in Vegas. I would do like an hour, go to bed. I would then do 2 hours the following day. I would then go into game and record a couple more scenes. I would then look at what I've got. I recorded about 20 to 30 minutes of footage, yet I only got it down to about that much, because I took out parts which I didn't think were necessary, or parts which I think were, not important to the story. I could have added a bit more perhaps, maybe I should have, but I've got that now for the future if I need it. So it'll work out. It's going to get better, obviously, once we start building up, maybe getting more men recruited, maybe getting better equipment, maybe getting involved with some of the local lords. That's when things will start to heat up. I do have a sort of end game goal at the moment, which could change, but I'm pretty happy with what I've thought of so far. I'm going to end beyond the episode, or behind the episode here. Like I said at the start, if you check the link below, click on it, it will take you straight to the episode if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen that episode and you're just watching this right now, then I've just spoiled, well, I haven't really spoiled things for you, but I've ruined the surprise. But anyway, go and check it out, because it will definitely be worth watching. I hope it will be worth watching for you. Anyway, I'm going to end this first behind the episode here. See you guys in episode 2. I have been Dragonheart, the Prince of Wales. Until next time, goodbye.